think it's time for a cover reveal. Oh my goodness, it's cover design day. I'm designing the cover for my 4th novel, Meet Me at the Summit, which is just super, super exciting. So Meet Me at the Summit is a young adult coming of age contemporary sort of book. And I have a very specific vision for this cover, which is why I've been putting off designing it for so long. I've had the vision since, I think, December, because I designed the cover before I finished the first draft, and I started the first draft in November and finished it in December. So I will let you know, this is the vision. I know you guys can't see, but the vision is that this is the book cover, and we have a sunset right here, and forest, and a little VW bus, because in the book Marley drives around a renovated VW bus. It's like a camper van sort of deal. And I have a very specific vision because I want to have like a nice sunrise and the mountains. And the mountains are very specific as well because this is going to be the parking lot that you park your car at when you go to Mount Washington in New Hampshire. So I actually stole this kind of concept from a photo from the first time I went hiking, where me and Phil are kind of like posing in the parking lot and you can see the mountains in the background. So that's what these mountains are. They're legit true to the location, I guess you could say. So yeah, I sketched this out really quick. The idea is that the title will be here in the tree foresty area. Then you have the VW bus, and then down here will be my name. And for the font of the title, I'm thinking like marker-esque, if that makes any sense. So normally when I design book covers, I design them on Photoshop using either stock photos or stock illustrations. But because my vision is so specific, I'll be illustrating my cover myself, and I'm not an illustrator, so this will be very entertaining. Now, I do illustrate a little bit, and when I say I illustrate for myself, so I don't work with clients to illustrate covers. Just want to get that out there. I don't know if that'll change down the line, but as of right now, I do not do custom illustrations for my clients. I always work with stock photos and stock illustrations and modify them. But because this is me and because I am a stubborn person, we're going to illustrate it in Procreate, which is an app for the iPad, and I have a very specific style in mind. And I will say I actually already designed the Volkswagen bus. So here it is. Here's the bus. It's teal, just like it's supposed to be in the book. So I drew it under its own little thing, and then I'm going to export it as a PNG. And once I draw the background of the cover, I'll just plop this into it. Now, like I said, very specific style. So I've been basically compiling style inspiration for months. Anytime I see something within the style that I want my book cover to be, I save it to a board on Pinterest so I can reference it as I work. Because I found a lot of the time is that if I don't look at something while I'm working, I absolutely hate what I create. So not only do I have a whole Pinterest board full of references, but I've also been illustrating the crap out of this style to practice things. I've been practicing a lot with this style, and the first time I drew it out in this style, I drew this illustration. This is actually based off of a photo I took when I had gone backpacking and we caught the sunrise on a mountaintop, and I drew this based off of the photo. I don't like it as much as I do the photo, but I still like and appreciate the illustration. The next thing I tried was this illustration. So this is actually based off of, I think I saw something else on YouTube. I don't know. Basically, I saw someone draw this illustration here, and I tried to copy it because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna follow someone else and create not a carbon copy, but like my own version. So I switched up the colors and changed a few things, but I saw what someone else was doing and was already working, and I was like, I'm just gonna practice, and created this as a result. And then I wanted to freestyle it, so I made this one, and I don't hate it. it's very dark. And then this is my most hated one. This one might be one of my favorites, but I will say I struggle a lot with the cloud texture, and I just not sure what I'm doing yet. And then this one is my most recent one that I tried out. I was like, okay, I've been doing a lot of landscapes, but let's combine the landscape with like a central focus. In this case, the central focus is this little tent that has a campfire. Another thing I did to prep was I created a palette. So in Procreate, you can create your own little palettes, and I have one palette that is called Meet Me at the Summit. And I basically saw another illustration on Pinterest, and I was just like, I just love the color palette of this. I like the range of blues with a touch of like orange and purple, and I thought it was so beautiful, and I was like, I want my cover to be in this color palette. So I brought the photo into Procreate, and I color grabbed all of the colors, and then I created my own little palette, which I have now, and which is what I will use to illustrate the book cover. And then I bought a whole bunch of brushes to add texture to my illustration. I have a really bad habit of buying a lot of Procreate brushes because they do different things when you illustrate, and I've spent a lot of money doing it, but they're so fun to play around with. So I'm gonna stop talking now, and I'm basically gonna take a picture of this, put it onto my iPad, and start tracing it out. Exporting it as a Photoshop file, which basically means I'll be able to keep all my layers that I have in my document. Right now I have 25 layers, so it'll be nice to be able to still play around with things. And I think I really like this. It's slightly different than what I envisioned, but it's got the texture and depth that I was looking for. So now I'm exporting it to Photoshop. I'm gonna pull it up on my computer, and I'm gonna add in the fonts and play around with stuff that way. Oh my goodness. Okay, I know it's not in focus, the background right now, but it's fine, it's fine. This is weird. This is really weird because I've been so specific about what I want this cover to look like, and it's looking like it, and it's strange. But I'm really liking it. I have a few things that I want to fix. I do think I want to try changing the style of the VW bus, so that's what I'm gonna do next. And then as well as, it's stupid, but there's like a cloud, like all the other clouds are horizontal, and this one starts off horizontal, but then it like goes up. And I know clouds do that, like sometimes clouds will like go up, but I feel like stylistically it doesn't work, and it's funny because I feel like clouds were the things that I struggled with most to draw before, but I really, really like the style of clouds. I think because of the texture I used on them, but I really like the colors. And then one other thing is, like, I feel like something is missing on the bottom, and I'm not sure what yet, but I do know I really like this font. I might play around with other fonts, but I really, really like this current font. And it makes me want to cry, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think I'm gonna call it a day. I removed the black lines from the VW bus, made it slightly bigger, and then fixed that cloud that was looking strange. So I'm gonna send this to a few friends, see what they think. Okay, I sent the cover to 2 friends, and they both gave me some feedback. We're gonna try out a few different things. I don't know what's gonna work, I don't know what's not gonna work, but we're gonna try adding a road or a parking lot for the bus to sit on. And I don't know why, but adding a road, drawing wise, I feel like I'm not gonna know how to draw it properly, but we'll find out. And then we're deciding that the version of the bus without the black outlines just doesn't pop as much. And because it's about a road trip, like, it's very important for this bus to be in there. So going back to the original version of the bus with the black outline, so all that work was for nothing. This is what cover design is like. And then we talked about, like, making the bus pop even more, like really showing its personality. So what's cool about some VW buses, and in particular the one in the story, is that the top pops up. So you can stand in the bus. Now, in the drawing right now, the top is down, but I think we can put the top up. And that will be helpful because I feel like if you don't know how the top pops up in a VW bus, even with describing it in the book, it might be a little confusing and hard to picture for a reader. So it might be helpful to have that visual on the cover. I'm also going to play around with, like, the text in the size and how it's positioned, and then maybe seeing if we want to add more of the sunset, so move, like, the mountains and trees down. I don't know. We're in the play around with everything phase. The concept is great, but now we just got to do a lot of tweaking. Okay, so it's many, many days later, and I thought I was done with the cover, and then I showed it to my husband, and he pointed out that the part on the VW bus that pops up was not long enough. Like, it's supposed to end right where, like, the driver's side door starts, and it was, like, ending back here rather than, like, up here. So I redrew it this way. However, after I redrew it farther up where it's supposed to be, I showed it to my husband again, and he was like, yeah, now it's opening too high up. They don't open that high up. So, like, let's say I had it opening this high, and it's supposed to only open, like, that high. So, minor changes, let's go do them. I think it's time for a cover reveal. So it's been a few weeks. I've let the cover sit, and really I haven't changed a whole lot. I was playing around with teeny weeny bitty details of the cover. But one thing I ended up changing, and it's funny because it's something one of my friends suggested to me when I showed them the first draft of the cover. They suggested, like, oh, what if you, like, centered all the text? Because I was kind of playing around with the text being like, ooh, out of order, or I don't know. I was playing around with the text being like not perfectly centered and lined up. And for whatever reason, it just took me a couple of weeks to realize that doesn't look good. So all I did was center the text, but it's still like tilted very slightly on an angle. But here's the cover. I love it. I am so in love with this cover. It is not only one of my favorite book covers out of like all of my books, but it's also one of my favorite covers that I've created. But with the cover reveal, you guys should know that this book is officially up for pre-order. So all the pre-order links will be down below. And if you want to help share the cover online, I will leave a link to a Google Drive down below as well. So the link to the Google Drive will just be a bunch of photos of the cover, and they're very Instagram worthy, so I would greatly appreciate it if you go ahead and share the cover online. Feel free to tag me as well. I'm very proud of this cover, and I'm just happy to reveal it to you guys all, because that means that this book is that much closer to being published. And oh, let's not forget the release date. I have yet to officially say it, but it's releasing August 31st, which I am just super excited about. As you watch this, it means that I am in the most stressful part of the publishing process, or at least what I think will be the most stressful part. But I am implementing edits from my beta readers as well as my developmental editor as you watch this video. And I'm probably just a ball of stress. So if you want to make me feel better during this very stressful time, share the cover, pre-order the book, shout about it to the rooftops. It goes a long way to help promote the book and get more pre-orders and more sales, and to support me as an author who has probably invested way too much into this book. But we'll see what happens. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, you can pre-order below, share the cover below, do whatever you want to help promote the book. I don't know. Next week on this YouTube channel, I'm talking all about planning pre-order incentives, which will be a lot of fun. And that means Meet Me at the Summit will have some pre-order incentives as well. So if you end up pre-ordering Meet Me at the Summit, be sure to keep a copy of your receipt to receive free stuff later on. That is it, you guys. I will see you all next week.